I'm giving you a pro tip for all 87 brawlers in the game. We have crazy tips like Rodeo Hank hiding his whole team with a hypercharged Shelly under it, Maisie dealing 20k damage with a single hit, us supering through the whole map with that one crazy mechanic, Surge one-shotting brawlers, Ash getting full rage with just 2 taps, and on and so on. So if you want to improve your gameplay, or if you just care how mechanics work in Brawl Stars, if you want to get a bit better on your main, this is exactly the video you were looking for. It's definitely worth watching it to improve your Brawl Stars mechanics and game knowledge. So don't forget to subscribe, and let's start with this video. For Kenji, always have your dash ready. Like, you can dash forward, do a swipe and dash back again. You can bait people from attacking. You can keep people on range. There's so much stuff you can do with Kenji. But please don't play that gadget that only gives you dashes. That's really pointless. We don't need a Mortis on Wish. It also deals less damage. So just make sure you got a little reload speed nerf. So it makes harder cycling your attacks, which is basically the most important thing on him. But he's still a very good brawler, which is why you will always want to keep track on your movement and how you do your shots, because you can basically dodge everything. You can make people crazy with Kenji gameplay if you just play him well. Make really use of your attacks, let this brawler reload, make meters, and you're going to be a much better Kenji as you're right now. With Draco, it's really important that you can cycle your super, so Frank will damage us right now, and you can always reload and also heal while doing this. So if you're out of ammo, you can just spam and go in with that super and try to kill everyone and be basically a machine gun and an unbeatable tank. So if you're super, make sure to play very aggressive and try to cycle as many supers as you can. With Kit, if you jump on an Angelo that is sitting on water, or a Eve or a Juju whatsoever, the Angelo, Eve or Juju will remain stunned while you can attack. So you basically flip off the brawler because you cannot, be on water, but your opponent is still stunned. In my opinion, that's straight up cheating. It's like a bug, but I don't know, it's in the game. So if you can, for example, against Angelos on water on that one Acid Lakes map, just make use of it. Oh, and an additional thing, if you stand still and use the gadget, you're farming your super significantly faster as if you would move. So if you're just using a gadget to farm faster super, then make sure to stand still. So what a lot of people don't even think about when playing Cordelius, but what you really have to take care of. First of all, we will farm our super real quick on this Frank. This is all stage anyway, you guys know that. And the Frank comes down now. Let's say you're just defending your zone whatsoever, and you can just super the Frank, for example, or your opponent, and rotate up to the enemy zone and backstab like the thrower who is defending here, for example. Or you can just in showdown make sure to backstab someone like that and then win the game. So for Chester, you just want to cycle 2 shots really quick. Like that, you will do more damage. So start with the 3rd shot, 4th shot, and the Bellomania star power 1 shot. Like that, you deal so much damage. I don't know what brawler survives this except Frank, for example. It deals so much damage. This is how you play Chester. Also play the reroll gadget so you can influence on what your next play is. Like if you get the slow, but you have no value of the slow right now, you need wall break or just poison or heal. Just anything better than this goddamn slow, then you're good with this gadget. Okay, so I have actually 2 tips for you with Surge. I cannot be happy enough with one. So first of all, when you shoot, you should always make sure that you super afterwards when you have your super. We do this and now we super just again, and we have 33% of the next super again. But you can also do that with 2 shots, by the way. I don't know if it works on stage 2. Let's see that. That doesn't quite work, but since we have a longer range on stage 3, then it works. So let me get my super first. Frank stays there. So now we can go for 2 shots, and now we have 66% for the next super. And now the second tip, Frank will just stand next to this wall. Please don't move. And now we can just, hit here, and then we're going to hit with 7k damage if we just hit the wall on a perfect spot. You know, that's a really strong thing on Surge. And if you can, you really want to give it a try. It's not that easy to hit, but sometimes it can save your life. Okay, so you can do the same thing with Surge, by the way. So if Kit now jumps on us and we, you know, hit a perfect timing with our shot, Kit will now jump us. And yeah, like this, you can do that even better. Kit can kill me now, but yeah, you can do easily like a 9 or 10k hit and one-shot that Kit right away. Incredibly hard to use, but let's say you don't have super and you're stage 4, for example, it can save you. Pretty rare, but it can be the deal, you know, it can be a play. So with Mac, you always want to make sure to play the knockback star power. Edgar will now jump on me, you know, even if he gets us out of the robo, we're doing 2.4 thousand damage. That can be so useful in duels, for example, against Kits, against Edgars, etc. So you really want to make sure to play this star power. You know, in combination, you can play the heal here, and then, yeah, you will just have enough damage. You can farm your super back after that assassin jumped on you. He gets a knockback, and you have more than enough time. Doesn't work so well on Daryl because he has 2 supers to engage with, but still should work out. So with Amber, the best tip I can give is that you should never just click auto aim. So Maggie will now run left, right all the time. And you can see if you click auto aim, you're barely hitting anything. It relies too much on RNG in my opinion. So what I like to give as a good tip, Maggie will do that again, but like this, you know, you can hit way better and more frequently in my opinion. So always make sure to not just spam auto aim, but also aim. For Sandy, we also have 2 tips again. And first of all, you know, we see a lot of people, this is not how you do it, like doing stun and this. So if we just do this, Frank is just stunned for a tiny second, you know, you don't want to do that. What you also don't want to do is having the sandstorm with damage and stunning like this, because, you know, the stun also does not pop off here. So that basically doesn't make sense to waste the stun for that. Okay, so what you want to do instead, so if this Frank is following us, you know, you use this. Wait for the stun a bit so you hit maximum value here. Like that, you are able to escape from enemies or also reloading your shot. By the way, the second tip is make sure if you poke, for example, with Frank and you don't want them to heal up, you can just throw your sandstorm, no matter if you're in it or not, to avoid them healing up, you know, just like this. This is really helpful and will upgrade your Sandy gameplay straight to another level. Best tip I can give you for Leon is that you not always should, you know, super and try to engage someone like this. That surely can work quite often. But what I mean is if you're getting low by an opponent, for example, it would make way more sense to sometimes, you know, keep fighting, receiving some damage, and then using your super with the star power to get away or to have some sustain to survive these type of situations, as you can see here, to go into the zone and so on. There's so many stuff you can do with the super. You have so much more sustain. So play Leon a bit smarter. Don't just all in your opponents with your super, but also use it in a different way. For Crow, the best tip I can give you is that if you have your hypercharge, you should try to get onto the high safe. A lot of people underestimate Crow in highs, like not too many play him here, but it also takes a while until you have your hypercharge charged up. But if you have it, then you can do an insane play, like if you have the opportunity, that can win a game immediately. Click hypercharge, auto aim that safe, you know, and you can see that we just dealt 50% damage. And if we get this high safe under 50%, we will farm our next hypercharge again. The even more damage, I actually can also show this without hypercharge. You know, the high save would be down anyway. You can also do this, take super, and we also deal incredible over 20% with in combination 3 auto attacks. It would be 30%. That is really wild. And let's use this hypercharge to actually finish this thing. Oh, so for Spike, I really cannot give you a tip for Spike himself, but I can give you a tip on how to dodge curveball perfectly. So Spike will go on top here. This is like the most common scene you will face, that the Spike is above you. And now Spike will just shoot straight towards me. And there's a certain angle that you need to walk to. You can start now shooting Spike. That you dodge every curveball with, you know. Always keep moving, learn it. We can also do this from the right, you know. The Spike just keeps shooting these. You can also do this from the right. You just need a slightly different angle, walk towards the middle. We got hit here, but it's okay. We will do it again. We can also do this from the opposite side. So you can dodge this from every possible angle, but be careful. You can also dodge curveball just as you saw right there. Oh, okay, I wasn't prepared for that. I've just tried to explain. Anyway, yeah, try to practice that in a test game and it will help you so much against spike matchups. Redo it, it's worth it. You will become a better player like this. And another tip I can give you with spike is, so if you realize that your opponent can dodge curveball, do 2 shots at the same time. So Maggie will now shoot 2 times. You know, I dodged all 3 of them, but it's much harder. So we'll give your opponents a tougher time. So he will do 2 different angles now. Shoot one right, one left. Yeah, just like this. You know, now, for example, I was a bit confused. Got hit by both. So that's definitely worth a try. Spike will kill me now. And we get to the next brawler. Hopper slide here. We play Saber mode in just Brawl Ball. Laser in like all other 3v3 modes. It really depends. So either Brawl Ball or Laser. It depends if you want to play on control or play really aggressively. Both are really useful for either way. And in Showdown, you want to play the Wing mode. Not Saber, not Laser. Actually, you want to play the Wing mode. It deals so much damage. The jump is very good. The gadget is very powerful. So yeah, this is all you need to know about Buzz Lightyear. For Juju, you know, Juju has a lot of abilities to slow. Maggie will get a bit closer now. You can actually collect these chests, so I can hit you a bit more often. Yeah, that's enough, I think. Yeah, that's enough. So now we can see when we hit Brock with a slowing attack, we can just keep spamming auto aim. He cannot dodge. No matter how far he's away, we can just keep playing auto aim, you know, and every single shot will hit. Gregory also has that slow. That will additionally help. So Juju is a very good auto aim brawler. Make sure to make use of that water. It is very powerful and it's very frustrating for an enemy. It can do nothing. And yeah, that's pretty frustrating. Okay, for Moe, it's a pretty simple one. Like we have 2 tips again. Here you can see this Frank is just standing there. If we hit him like this, we're just doing 2000 damage. But if we want to do more damage, we can go on the corner like this and deal more damage. It's a bit hard because this is not a, you know, not a chest. Now we hit 4000. This is the maximum damage. I can show you that on a chest. So if I hit from this angle, 2000. If I stand like this, it's 3000. You also need to take care with your aim a little bit. So I go onto this chest. Yeah, now we do 4400. No, you need very precise aim, but it's very important. So if you need that extra damage, it's important to know this strategy. Let's try that on a Frank again. If you hit the perfect spot, 5200 damage, exactly like this. You can do it from basically every corner. You just need to make sure to stand in the correct way, just like this. It's basically you split all your projectiles like this. So if I shoot here, you can see 2600 damage, but it's not even as much as if we would hit all 3. So the next tip is we can waste all of our 3 shots, super again, and we have 3 shots again. That is a massive damage burst and will help you to get even more DPS against certain enemies. For Clancy, use your gadgets immediately for stage 3. Like you won't have any use for them when you're stage 3. So when the game starts, already go for the instant gadget, like not in spawn, but when you see the first enemy, get your 3 taps immediately. Then you're stage 2. You know, if you die, it's okay. Just respawn, click the next gadget and try to hit that stage 3 as soon as possible, because that's the only stage you want to have Clancy on. That's the only way you can put any value out of Clancy, because he's so bad right now. So make sure to play it like this. For Lily, it's not too special, but here we have also a bunch of tips. I will farm my super first on this Lily. And if you get the Lily low and you see, okay, she uses a gadget like right now, then you can also use a gadget and finish her just like this. That was actually stupid because I needed to show you another thing. Another thing you need to know, you can either use that to teleport to a better spot, but you can also do that to bait, for example. Use your super first and then use a gadget just like this. You know, we just baited the Shelly super. We also ported without taking any damage. The star power is still active, like we have the bonus damage here. You know, you can do very mighty and good plays with Lily, so always keep that in mind when playing her. Melody is a movement beast, so we can do multiple things just with her super, and we will show you the first thing right away. First of all is farming my super. She got a nerf, like she needs 5 taps now, you know, to get that super. And now what we can do after respawning, for example, and you realize, okay, my enemy team is not paying attention. Super that ball, pass yourself, super that ball, pass yourself, and rush the goal just like this. Now we show you another thing that you can do with Melody. You just farm your super, for example, holding control in hot zone. Now the bull will kill us real quick. Exactly. And now let's imagine we would play hot zone. What you could do now is immediately rush with God mode into the enemy. Just like this, we had the God mode, and like that, you would be able... Oh my god, that was embarrassing. And just like that, you would be able to get into the zone immediately and farm the super again. Miko also gets another bonus tip. All right, so first of all, you never want to jump first as Miko, because this Miko will now jump us. We counter jump this, and you know, then you can just do this. And basically, if Miko that jumps first loses. That's the first advice. Never jump first. Also, it's not just against Miko. Imagine a search with jump, for example. You just don't want to jump first. Or Edgar, you know, it does make a lot of sense. But you can also bait, for example. So baiting would also work. So another tip I want to give you, if you use hypercharge, then try to make some moves, like make use of your additional attack damage and then go for the super, you know, and then you will have the additional stun. But make sure that you're in the air before your hypercharge runs out, or the stun will not work. Two different scenarios. Like usually Stu will now just walk left and right every time. We click auto aim, and you can see no matter where he's going, we will always make a hit. So now Stu clicks hypercharge, and auto aim is not enough anymore to hit my auto aim, as you could see here. Only if you click like slow, for example. But yeah, make sure to consider that you cannot click auto aim when there's a max speed boost, a hypercharge boost, or whatever. With a Stu turret, you can still click auto aim if the brawler has normal speed. If it was a crow, for example, then you would also not hit at all, you know. Charlie's not in the meta right now, so which is why there's not any crazy tips for her. She's like not the craziest mechanical brawler. What we want to do first is just farming our hypercharge. You know, the problem with Charlie is if we just click hypercharge now and cocoon with Frank, then our spiders will run out of HP right when he spawns. So sometimes you want to make sure to click your hypercharge and just spawn the spiders for against single target brawlers, for example, just like this. Then another thing, if you cocoon someone, make sure to hit the perfect timing, like your thing is just going back, so you have more, as you just could see, impact when your brawler gets out of the cocoon, and you deal basically double damage. It's just a little detail, but it makes a huge difference. Like it can end up that you just receive 3000 damage less, for example, that you win a matchup, that you get a score whatsoever. The little things that make the difference. For Chuck, the only thing you need is good post positioning. That's all you want to care about. So you don't even need 4 posts. Many play like 4 posts, but you don't need that. So just connect 1 post to the high safe, 1 post a little bit down, and then, you know, 1 post as shown here. You can have a perfect connection with only 3 posts. In Shadow, for example, you would like to play the 4th post, no doubt. But yeah, for highs, you basically are fine with 3. If you want to play 4, do it, but yeah, it's quite unnecessary. All you want to do is like get that connection to the high safe, cycle that super through, and then you're good. So in the last video on this map, everyone was complaining that I never opened these chests. We will do that just to satisfy your brain in a second. So what you want to do, we'd let this Frank heal up a little bit. So if I just do this, you know, and now I click super, that doesn't make sense. Now we don't have any super cycle. What we want to do instead is we want to go for the hot dog first of all, you know, then have the instant cycle back already, and we have the next hot dog right away, you know. So that is important. I forgot to open the chest, which means, yeah, I will think about it later. So just make sure super first and then go for the cycle. But be careful. Some of your opponents might take that to their advantage and let your hot dog run out of time before killing you. So still make sure to have a good hot dog timing. First of all, what I'll show you now is a really crazy advanced tip, and does only work for a certain amount of brawlers. By the way, here's a satisfying moment how all these chests are popping off. Nani will collect all of them. We hit the Nani so we can farm some super. Give her all the taps. Let her heal up a little bit. Okay, what we want to do now is supering the Nani, and here you need perfect timing so you can actually hit yourself with Nani. It didn't work right here, but I will just keep farming my super until it works, and my cutter will show you how that looks. Incredible hard mechanic, but with the right timing, if you're Willow main, definitely doable. For RT, you can just play the gadget that counters assassins and tanks. I talked so much about this gear. You can one-shot kids, Edgars, tanks, whatsoever. It can be a really surprising effect. That is the best best tip I can give on RT. You can do full plays, you know, even if you waste your super, for example, and you need to get back to your ranged form. And you can also just click a gadget and save yourself like that. One of the best gadgets in the game, in my opinion, has a lot of value, and I can only recommend to use that. And here in the gameplay footage, you can see how well this thing can work. Okay, so great. There's a really cool tip. Not only that you can play the hot zone strategy with that hypercharge, we even can have 2 teleporters with, like, I think you can play with Jackie Rosa, for example, or Jackie Dark, Rosa Dark, doesn't really matter. In hot zone on certain maps where you only have one zone, that is important, and the tanks just keep going in. But there's also other mechanics that you can do with Gray, and that is we pull this Frank and you super to this spot. You can swap positions, or what you can also do is like pulling him into the zone, for example, or, you know, just make sure to whatever, pull him into your teammates, you know. So we do this and then this. Oh, it actually didn't work, my bad. So you can also do that quite the opposite. You don't have to swap positions. You can also do this, you know, and then the distance he travels is even further, I think. And yeah, that's the tips I can give you. For Buster, he's an absolute team brawler. I cannot really give like a tip here. The best tip I can give is that you can block projectiles like a many projectile. You can cancel a Nani head. You can cancel simple projectiles like the Piper gadget. Buster is an incredible counter to so many brawlers just with his super alone, and only his presence itself, like if you stand next to your team, people will think twice if they're going to waste their super whatsoever. You can just keep going for more engages, do the super, go the wall, show presence, farm the super back again just by standing near to your teammates. You don't have that range pressure with brawlers like Mandy or Jean, for example. But even the fact that people have to think twice, or have to, you know, have to think like, oh, how are we going to play this matchup, for example, is a huge advantage. Buster is a pure team brawler, one of the most competitive brawlers in the game, if not the most competitive brawler. So if you have some friends, if you're playing like with a team and you're playing like knockout or whatsoever, then you can always consider having Buster in your team and you won't do anything wrong. Okay, so for all this, there's multiple stuff that you should take care of. So first of all, if you play the longer star power with mute, you can mute Frank, spam auto aim on him, and then go for the next mute, you know, like that. He's muted for quite some time. That's incredible. And yeah, another thing you should know is that with the hypercharge, you get an additional 1.5 second to your mute. So it's not just a stun, but it's a 1.5 second standing silence, you know, like this. He's stunned. I think they fixed this. So here's the stun. Then he walks. Yeah, I think they actually nerfed this. I think Otis hypercharge had like 1.5 extending stun, but it seems like it's not in the game anymore. Okay, so we just have one tip on Otis. Frank can kill us, and we get to the next brawler. For Janet, both of the tips are relating to her super. There's nothing special to say about her gadget and normal attacks, all that. So first of all, Frank will now walk towards this wall. Usually Janet just drops bombs in a certain frequency, but now I can show you if you fly against a wall, and you can see that you cancel the attack animation, you know. So it drops, for example, 2 bombs at once. So now we're just dropping 1 bomb, and here we go with a double bomb really quick, which allows you to sometimes deal twice the damage on a brawler. Then we have the hypercharge. For example, use it, fly above the gem carry, just stay here, deal all this damage. You know, you can just stay like this. That's kind of insane, but you have to be careful, because if you do a slightly move, then your bomb is going to a straight direction, you know. So if you stand still, the hit rate is most likely 100%, and if you move, make sure that you're doing a good move. For Eve, it's basically, I can already tell you what you should not do with Eve. And as you can see, the normal gadget gives you a jump like this. Quite some distance, not too far, but you know, you can jump over obstacles, for example. But if your movement is not good like this, you see the jump animation was cancelled by moving against that wall. So also if you like watch to a wall just like this, you don't even have a jump at all, you know. Take care of that, because this can be really annoying. For Fang, before supering, you can do a normal attack like that. Your super cycle is even better. So just do a basic attack, super van, and you know, okay, now we have instant super because of that modifier, but you know, usually you can just have a better super cycle. For Buzz, you can do that wiggle. For example, if this was a Shelly with super, I did that already. Maybe my cutter finds the clip. What you can do is faking, going for this pick like this, using a gadget, and like this, you can just hook away. You know, this actually worked against the Shelly. I did the craziest timing ever. And you can also do that even crazier with hypercharge, I believe. Yeah, I think I almost did it 3 times. Didn't quite work here. But yeah, you can also do that, I think, up to 3, 4, 5, 6 times. There's like this one bus main. What's his name again? I don't remember him right now. But he's a crazy bus main and he's doing such crazy tricks with bus. And it can be very helpful. So it's incredibly hard to use, but it can definitely help you out of some situations. I just remembered his name and it was Ironmere. We also did a video with him. Pretty cool guy, pretty chill guy. I like him. Okay, next tip is Kit can just jump on me right now. I will go to that wall and now I can just attack her. So I basically avoided the stun. It's a little bug, but you know, it's a crazy advice. And if you play bus, you will always face Kits in Showdown, for example. Then this is a crazy thing to know. With rods, you can just hypercharge yourself, you know, farm another hypercharge, and then you can give your teammate the next hypercharge. I like to do that because, you know, you can super up yourself. First of all, use 2 hyperchargers, which has slightly more value, since, you know, just have 2 hyperchargers that you can use for stat boosting. Yeah, I recommend doing that if you're not really relying on a certain hypercharge at this point. So yeah, for Lou, we have a Grandmaster tip, honestly. So first of all, this Cartman skin is crazy good. It's also no teaming skin, if you didn't know. That doesn't help you in terms of, you know, mechanical skill. You know, you cannot spin, as you can see here. You don't really cannot. I mean, you can see that this guy is making circles, but you cannot really see spinning, as for Frank, for example, that has a teaming spray, or Megalul. So let's say you just stun this Frank. So now he will do 2 attacks, for example, on us, and you can see he's doing the full damage, which is what you want to avoid. So let's heal up real quick again. And what you want to do, if you can, not always, I mean, it has to make sense, you can keep your opponent on really high freezing. And now he's only doing 1.3k damage. So you want to make sure, if you can do that, then do it. Just like this again, you know, and he's doing not enough damage at all. But if you need to stun, you can obviously also go for the stun. Blue is really a beast. You can perma stun opponents for so long. He's a crazy cracked brawler, especially with that reload speed buff that he recently got. So if you want to be a smart gamer, consider to not stun in certain situations. For example, if you're going for 1v1, bait their shots first, and after that, when we have no ammo left, you can go for the stun and finish, for example. For Squeak, just auto aim the highest for maximum damage, or you can also aim it slightly lower. Then you're also going to hit everyone. For example, if like an opponent brawler stands right next to you, but you want to target the highest save, and you can aim and make it a little bit slightly under the middle of the highest save. For Byron, please just make sure, if you have usable teammates, make sure to heal them. I know we have a lot of damaged Byrons out there, but the art of Byron is playing both. A damaged Byron and a healing Byron, being able to know when to heal and when to do damage. When your team is full HP, of course, you're just going for the damage, also to poke enemies down. But yeah, if your team needs help, make sure help them, you know, give them some help. Don't just let them die. They really rely on you. For Sprout, we have a lot of things that we can do. You can cancel super, as you can see here. We just canceled this Miko super by just placing a wall there. The Miko gets a little knockback. That is really broken and overpowered, in my opinion, if you play that right. Sprout is a really skilled brawler. And yeah, what we also have is extending your range. Usually the range is just like this, but if you aim on a wall just like this, or more like this, then you extend your range by a little bit. You know, that can be super useful, especially in 3v3. Make sure to just aim it right, and you have quite some good range. So this Fang will farm his super on me real quick. Yeah, the Fang will go right here now, so I can time that perfectly. Whenever I say go, then he will super us. So go. Now we just use the wall, and as you could see, I mean, this was kind of unlucky because the Fang spawned right next to us. But if you do that even better, then you can make sure to give yourself a knock up, and then the Fang will just dash away from you, and then you made a successful dodge. I mean, obviously you can also do like this, you know, just place it in front. But yeah, do not underestimate that knockout. For Mr. P, you want to stay on max range, because if you're not on max range, it's quite easy to dodge him. We will show you that right now. Maggie will take Mr. P. My bro, doesn't matter. I'm just taking Sprout. Okay, so this Mr. P is now randomly shooting at us. And if you can see, if we are not on max range, then we can just dodge these shots that the Mr. P will do right now. Wait a second. This skin is so pay to win. Like, do some Oh my god, this is so pay to win. Like, I barely can see when this thing is hitting me. Okay, we just learned that this skin is pay to win and gives you a huge advantage. That's ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, you can, if you're not staying on max range, dodge these things pretty easily, but not with that skin, bro. I've never experienced this. I've never seen this, bro. Like, you cannot dodge it. It's basically invincible. Oh my god, I'm not doing that. Let's get to the next round. If you stand together with max, then you get an instant super right away. The hypercharge gives you some super farm, as you know, for a single brawler. But if you're all together, you get a free super every time. So you can basically easily super twice in a row with max, with the hypercharge. Absolutely broken, insane hypercharge. And yeah, you can easily abuse that. I mean, you can see it here. I just supered multiple times in a row and we had super all the time, literally for multiple seconds. And that's just insane in my opinion. For Jean, I can only recommend if you have bushy maps, double swoosh, for example, can work on quite some maps. Also the duels map, the Snake Prairie map in Bounty. Here, the vision gear works so well. On knockout maps like out in the open or 4 levels, the vision gear is a mighty weapon. And since Jean has the longest range in the game, it will help you so much in certain situations. For duels, we have that, I think it's the Shrouding Serpent map. Yeah, that's like a perfect map for Jean with speed gear and vision gear. You can bully your opponents on this map because you always have control, you always have the vision, and they, I don't know, have to think of something to get a kill on you. But if you play it smart enough, if you stay focused, this is a huge advantage for you. So brawler number 40 is Terror, and the tip I can give here, don't pull into corners. Okay, so what I mean exactly by don't pull into corners is we are farming our super now, and now the Frank just runs away. He will make use of the C, like just run away like this. And you know, if you pull like this, you cannot get the pull and you cannot get the damage. Be careful when doing this with Terror, and the Frank is going to kill us now. No reason to run away from us anymore. With hypercharge, it's kind of the same thing as you could see here. It has a little bit longer range, just a little longer range. But he also had just like 0.1 second where his movement was manipulated. And yeah, the splash damage is bigger there, so he still got damage with hypercharge. But take care of that when pulling. You need a free area or whatsoever. For Morris, we can get the, what I can always recommend. I mean, many people disagree, but I will never listen to you guys. In my opinion, Coiled Snake is the better star power on Morris in so many situations. Also, collecting the blue star early, I mean, you don't need the star power for that, but that's just a tip for Morris. Always make sure if you play Bounty, for example, if you play competitive, then make sure if you have a Morris pick, always get the blue star and play it passive for the first moment if you don't really have any chance of engaging. Also in Showdown, in duels, you always want to play this, by the way, because you don't have any impact with the healing. But I think movement is so important in Brawl Stars, like the most important mechanic in the game, and then you just want to have the dash 2 seconds faster every time, and that is crazy. It needs so long when I played the healing. I know it's a very good heal if you want to do like a triple kill, for example. With this star power, it's definitely easier. You're basically always full HP, but I think as a good Morris, you have more value with Coiled Snake because you have more impact, you have more pressure, which is where I would always go for Coiled Snake. With Shade, make sure in Showdown, for example, that you stack your super. If you can play really aggressive with this brawler, you know, you can walk over water, you can dash through walls, you have a gadget with longer range. Shade is an excellent brawler in my opinion that can play really aggressive. And if you, for example, against teamer, it works best against teamers. I was playing like a 1v5 or 1v6 here with like 9 kills, and see how fast I was going. I was controlling all of them. They couldn't even do anything. I could hide behind the wall. I was just making sure. You have to be very aggressive, like you need to cycle super quite fast to get the next super done. But if you have that, then you're just super fast and can dominate the whole lobby. If you reach a certain speed, then yeah, no one can do anything against you. For Barry, always make sure to have one healing area under yourself because of the speed star power, you know, 50% increased reload speed, but also the heal itself. Then the super, don't use it to engage aggressively, like sometimes it can make sense, but most likely with Barry, you just want to heal your teammates, you want to super your teammates, give them another additional 4k heal, Barry is just a better alternative to Poco. I said already stuff like that Angelo is a better version of Eve. I think Eve's hypercharge got nerfed again, so I would say that Angelo is better than Eve again. But yeah, with Barry and Poco, it's kind of the same. Poco is a weaker version of Barry, because Barry has so much heal. With that hypercharge, you can heal incredibly much. I was playing against him in a ranked match, and I just wasn't able to get him down or his team. I played Stu, so I didn't have the highest damage. He played Barry, and it was not possible to kill this guy. It was just too much heal at all. And if you dodge like one shot at all, then he's already full HP again. So it's so dangerous. Always heal, always use the reload star power, always heal your teammates, and you're unbeatable. Brawler number 45, so we reached 50% of all brawlers. And with Angelo, I can give you a tip. Sometimes, you know, if you don't want your enemy to heal up, you don't need to charge your shots always. So you can also do some poking. You can do auto aim when you're like, okay, I just want to finish this guy, and it's hard to aim with Angelo. So sometimes auto aim makes a lot of sense with this brawler. And also the bush scan with vision gear, you can spam shots and scan bushes really well with that. It definitely works better with other brawlers, but just don't always charge your shot. You can also, you know, spam your shots. This is a good mechanic of the brawlers, so make use of it. With Larry and Laurie, you can port through the whole map with that first gadget that also heals you a little bit, which is also the gadget that you would play all the time. But there's also another thing. I think it's more like a trolling thing or like a fun thing to do. But yeah, I think it can maybe be useful at some point. Frank has to be careful that he doesn't die here. So now we'll do is my Laurie now is a thrower, you know? So what I want to do now is let this guy die. So Larry now always stands by my side because he's a thrower. He wouldn't, you know, engage with Frank right away. So we just super again. Now he's the melee again, and we click gadget again. So now both of us are throwers. So let Frank come a bit closer. You know, now you can see that you can burst your enemies with a double thrower. With a lot of walls on Skull Creek, like this is not the best map, but on maps like Skull Creek, this can be really useful. I mean, you can see the burst damage. That is really insane. We just did like 50,000 damage or something. Yeah, really hard to use, really rarely being used. But if you ever feel like trying something new, or that you could get into these situations on maps with a lot of walls, for example, then you can try the strategy for sure. For Pearl, a simple tip, just load your heat bar, camp a little bit so you can make use of your star power. You get more damage, your gadget does more damage. So whatever game mode you play, just wait a little bit until your heat bar is filled up, and then you can start engaging. Don't try to rush anything or whatsoever. You gotta play patient with Pearl. So now we have Cow Hank, and this is another pay to win skin. As you can see, we cannot hide the HP, but this guy can simply hide my brawlers. So if you don't know what brawler I'm playing, or you know, whatever, you can just rush your opponents like this. For example, if I had super, if I had hypercharge, all that, Hank can easily hide me just like that. For Maisie, also very skilled brawler, there's a lot of things you can do. First of all, we have the extended super range. So use your super first, it has an animation. Use your gadget afterwards, you know, click some auto aim, super is back. That's the first one. Then we have another play. We just click hypercharge and then super into a brawler just like this, you know, dealt over 10,000 damage just like this. If I hit it better, you can do even more. And the second thing is, you know, when buses, for example, are pushing you or whatsoever, you know, brawlers that hook up on you or assassins, you can just use your gadget to get that little stun. I know it's a pretty common tip here, but yeah. So let's get one perfect hypercharge hit on that Frank. So you can see how much damage this brawler is capable of dealing. Okay, so I'm actually too bad to make this hit. But let me show you that real quick. In the training ground, I think you can do up to like 16,000 damage with a single hit. Just showing you that in a really, really quick way. So the hypercharge, then use the super. You can see it here, 50,000 damage. Even 20,000 damage when you hit everything perfectly. Crazy potential. For Mandy, I can only say sometimes, especially in random lobbies, when you have your super, try to spawn kill your opponents. Especially when you have someone that is one hit from Maisie's super. But even if not, if you hit 2 targets, you have super right again. So try that out. In knockout, it can be really, really cool. It can be really surprising. Sometimes people don't think of that. Also happened to me or my team already, that we just didn't prepare for it, didn't pay attention, got a triple super, all of us died, and the game was over. So sometimes that really makes sense. For Sam, I gave this guy a whole own video because I think there's so much potential with this brawler. Always make sure to make make use of your super. So you get the speed boost, you get the additional heal. Sometimes you can, you know, leave it for a second so you can reach into full HP. But overall, just always use your super. You know, that's what you have it for. You have permanent super, throw it against the wall just for the speed boost. So you're always a dangerous threat. You know, don't walk with Sam normally. You don't need to. You have the option to get a permanent speed boost, you get permanent heal. So just do it. Sorry, but I'm really not a big Lola fan and I cannot say too much. If you have a better tip for her, let me know in the comments. What I only can tell you is that you play this star power, like improvise, then make sure to always be on 1 ammo because 30% damage boost is really, really much. If you play this one, place the clone behind you so you can heal yourself or your enemies. You can also heal like your whole team. So this is the passive way. This is the aggressive way. You have 2 options with Lola. Same with the gadget. Both are really playable. And yeah, it's up on you how you want to play her, but you have both options. For Ashe, we want to make sure, by the way, it's a great brawler, but we really want to make sure that we always hit with our golden bar. That means, yes, we play that 1 star power. Only that one works on Ashe. This is the only one you want to play on him. So if you miss, no problem. Just back up a bit and then go for the rage. You know, we get 50% rage with a single hit. So if we don't hit our golden bar and then, you know, shoot like this, with 3 taps, we have the same amount of rage than we had with 1 single tap. So, you know, what I like to do is just hit like this, wait a second, hit like this again, and we have full rage bar. So that is so absolutely broken on him. You really want to make sure to play him like this. It's unbelievable. It took a while for me to understand that when he got released, but then I realized, oh my god, the star power is so broken. You always want to have it. Especially with that nerf, you now also get more rage when you get damage. So Ashe is really always worth considering when playing ranked or whatsoever. For Belle, we have a very secret tip here that I think basically no one in the game uses, but it is so worth it. Yes, usually you always play the shield star power on her. If you get a hit, you get instant feedback with that shield. Can block 20% damage. Cool thing. But this star power, you prevent opponents from reloading for 5 seconds. Do you know how long 5 seconds are? It doesn't sound that long, but it's incredibly long. So let Maggie play Mortis now. So Belle has a perfect amount of HP with that shield, for example. So Mortis will now engage on us and we just click this. Okay, and he now has super, but usually he doesn't have super. Now he could kill me with that super, but he couldn't reload for 5 seconds. So I basically can stand there for quite a while. He cannot reload. I could literally heal up, tank another shot, and yeah, you have time for like 3 times to kill this guy. This works so good against assassins, also against Edgar, whatsoever, especially when they miss their first shot, for example. You know, if Mortis just needs 1 dash to get close to me, then I'm supering. He just has 2 shots left. We had the supercharge mode on, so it looked a bit weird, but yeah, very powerful star power against assassins, even against tanks, not very much against rangers, but yeah, really recommend it. I'll get to the next brawler. With Colette, we want to focus full HP brawlers. So for example, when you have a lane and heist, 3 brawlers, all of them are 1 HP, no, give that Frank 1 or 2 hits when he's quite low, and after that, don't waste all your shots to try to get him down because your damage will get less and less, but instead you can focus other brawlers that have full HP. You know, like that you can deal a ton of damage. Same for the gadget. You know, if you use your gadget, make sure you have a brawler that has full HP. Don't start using your gadget when there's a cold with like 1000 HP. You're barely getting any heal from it. Sometimes, rarely can make sense, but overall, you know, you want to stick to the full HP brawlers. That's Colette's strength, and also the super cycle on the heist save because you most likely want to play her in heist. And if you don't play in heist like Showdown, then play the push it star power like that. You always will get 2 hits on when you hit your super. But the problem is, let's say you super a bull like that, then bull can just spam the main attack, and like that you can counter Colette and give her like a 5k tap, which most likely leads to death. A quick one for Gale. He's not really meta right now. He's not really considered. If I can give you a pro tip, you know how to use the gadget, you know how to use the star powers. If you use the slow star power, then you can click a lot of auto aim and you can kite enemies. Slow star power is really big in my opinion, especially when hunting bring brawlers down. They get slowed. They cannot dodge anymore. So if you slow them once and keep spraying auto aim, then your opponents will not be able to escape anymore. Very frustrating, very annoying. And also make sure that if you can, finish people with your super. It still does some damage. Make sure you know how much damage it does, and it will help you. Bonnie is a quick one. What we want to make sure here, that's like the best gear that you could play ever on her. You want to play that super gear. It's just 10% supercharge, which doesn't sound too much, but it leads to the fact that you need 3 hits instead of 4 hits. So it's basically not a 10% buff, but it's a 25% buff. So buy that gear. It's the best gear on the brawler. This build in general is the best on the brawler. I think she's a bit underrated. So yeah, supercharge gear, strongest one on Bonnie. With Grom, we always want to shoot at crossings. Let me show you that on a very common knockout map. Okay, what I mean by that is that you should always focus the crossings. Like, don't shoot like this, don't shoot like this, you know. That's kind of pointless. Most of the time, you want to shoot at the crossings, just like this. So like this, you can have 4 directions that can hit a target. And also, you take any opportunity of your opponent to dodge, like this, you know. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like if your opponent stays here, then of course, you can do like a shot like this. Doesn't work always. But in many situations, you want to play like this. So let's say we're having a 1v1 with B. She tries to dodge a bit. We don't care about that. We just keep, you know, doing the crossing. And you will do enough damage like that. Now we're talking about Griff. I make it quick. So about Griff, there's not really a nice mechanic. What I can suggest you is that you play the second star power. It's really powerful. But overall with Griff, he's a crazy backstabbing brawler. It kind of feels weird giving, you know, an advice about backstabbing or like teaming. But yeah, you don't need to team to backstab. You can also like, you know, when I'm also a no teamer and when people spin on me, sometimes I just ignore that for a second. They think I'm teaming with them even when I don't even spin, you know, just act like I'm not attacking them or acting for my own advantage, and they build some trust for whatever reason, come closer, and you can just give them the one taps super if needed in combination, 10,000 damage. Basically every brawler is down. If it's a Frank, just do 2 auto attacks and you do 20,000 damage, you know, and everyone is down without even being able to react. So happened quite often to me even without teaming. So backstabbing, not just a teamer thing. And yeah, that's a very good tip I can give. Try it out. It works perfectly. So we have the modifier on right now that gives us faster supers. So this is not quite realistic what you will see, but it shows how it still goes. So what you want to do is click hypercharge and the gadget in combination. So we do that, you know, go for this. We get 1 super after now. So we're basically only jumping. We have the modifier on, but even without the modifier, it looks kind of the same. You know, you can just jump, have the next jump and team wipe in the fastest way possible. So yeah, always play this gadget in combination with hypercharge. I mean, sometimes you're playing the shield, then this is not possible. But yeah, this is a crazy combination with the hypercharge. And yeah, that's it. For Nani, before you engage with your super, just make sure to make 1 or 2 rounds, you know, so you build some damage with that damage star power. As you can see here, the damage star power says that you can build up to 1850 extra damage. So just make a little circle because you don't want to engage right away. You want to build some speed, some damage, and then go for the 1 hit on a Piper, for example. And also in combination with the damage gear, you can go back to spawn, make sure you're not healing up above the damage gear, then use the super. And don't worry, we know you heal up while using your super, but the damage is still influenced by the damage gear. So you do like, I don't know, 5k damage plus 1850 extra damage plus 50% extra damage when your brawler is below 50% health. With fiber charge, we also have extra damage. So Nani super is just an absolute beast in terms of damage, and this is how you want to play her. For B, I have a perfect tip for you, especially if you're not incredibly good at aiming. You have to judge that yourself, but you can see this Frank will run down here just in a straight line, and you can see when I slow him, I can always click auto aim and I will hit every shot. But be careful against max speed, for example, this will not work. Against brawlers with normal speed or high speed, this works, but not against brawler that have like very high speed, you know. It depends on range, but on max range against Crow, for example, or max, you know, you will experience that it can be hard, or against do speed turret, all that kind of stuff, or hypercharge. There's enough stuff that gives speed boost, so keep that in mind. Okay, so with Bibi, we can make a double hit. We need perfect timing, you know, give Frank the knockback, use the bubble. Okay, I failed here, so we need some practice. By the way, just for your information, it's 7 a.m, so big shout out to Muggy. Every donation that comes under this video will go straight to his bank account, so if you want to appreciate his work, you're gonna give him some donation, and if you don't, then I'm doing it. Don't worry. So good. And yeah, you could see the double hit here already. We're just doing this again so it can show, yeah. This is not only luck based, you can also do this with hypercharge. No, give him the knockback, but you can see when the bubble split, you actually won't benefit from the double bubble. Okay, we're going to kill him and get to the next brawler. For Frank, it's also not the like mechanical tip that makes you crazy Frank, but it gives you more awareness. So Frank will farm his super right now, or his hypercharge basically. And yeah, first of all, now he will super normally into the left direction. So Frank goes super here to the left direction once without hitting me, and you can see range goes around here. You know, Frank go farm his super again, and now he's going to use the hypercharge. You will be able to see that the range is slightly lower. I mean, I still got hit. I think the range was more like here, so it is lower. So give him another hypercharge. Okay, so Frank is now going to use that hypercharge. You can see if I just stand here with the right pattern, I'm not getting a stun, even while it shows when you aim that you basically hit the 360 area, but you don't. So it's basically scam. And yeah, that's about Frank. Be aware of that and don't do silly mistakes, especially when you also need a little bit more range. If you can hit a safe stun anyway, just be careful. Draco will farm his super right now, and then he will transform whenever he wants to. Now start shooting me. We just use a single gadget. And you can see that all his ammo is left out now. He cannot do anything. So Pam is a crazy counter against Amber, against Draco, and against brawlers that need a ton of time to reload in general. For example, Miko. If you hit a good gadget on Miko when she jumps on you with a good timing, she has no ammo left. Even if she steals it with like the star power, it doesn't matter because you can just get all the ammo back with just that one gadget if you time it pretty well. For Piper, the last time what I told you is that you can, you know, kick with the hypercharge someone back into your mines and deal a ton of damage. That is really hard to pull off, so I want to give you another tip right now. For that, I need to farm my hypercharge first. We already have it. And what you can do is you can not only do that with Piper with the hypercharge, don't forget what many people you can break by landing, pushing this Frank away and having a very easy score. So basically, there's nothing he can do about that. So we will farm another hypercharge, and this Frank will now try to defend by standing in front of the goal. What I can do now is just, you know, self-passing, pushing this guy away, also scoring with another gadget. You know, Piper is a scoring beast, so you can not only one-tap people by just using your hypercharge, pushing them back into your stuff, but you can also do that. But there's a second thing. Maggie will now pick Kit. That's also very important to know. And the Kit will do nothing but just jump on me with auto aim. So he lets me farm super real quick. I let him farm super, probably a little bit faster. So now this Kit will just auto aim jump me and not move afterwards. So we're just doing this, and Kit doesn't get any damage. I know it doesn't help Piper, but it's a thing that you should be aware of, that there's a dead zone which doesn't allow you to deal any damage. Just make sure to consider that when you're playing. You can see footage here where I did actually a triple super with just one auto attack, and here we are showing you it in a simple way, which you should focus. I'm not trying to do a triple tap, but actually just supering one time after another, cycling it just like this. I can try to get like a double super, but yeah, it's kind of hard to pull off. I feel like you have to cancel the animation, like try to, you know, dash through walls, but it's really hard to pull off. I don't recommend trying this at all. It's really not necessary. So this is basically all you want to do. You can have insane movement like this, you know, do this, shoot, do this, do this. Don't be too close or it won't work, as you just saw. Still has insane movement. Make use of it and really practice and train that you're not just supering and shooting, but when needed, when you can, just make sure to always rotate the super in combination with the healing star power. You will always heal up, have much more sustain. Definitely worth it. For Ms, always play friend zoner. Nothing else to say. So I don't need to give crazy tips with Ms, you know. Make sure to always get your triple tap to keep opponents on range. You know, that's obvious. Against Ms, you always try to get close range, bait gadgets and all that. But yeah, what tip can I do? I'm not the biggest Ms fan. Just play friend zoner, the knockback gadget. It's needed. It basically should be a normal ability of the brawler, like a passive ability. If they remove this gadget, this brawler is dead. The brawler is relying on this gadget. So never think of something else. Belongs to this brawler. The last epic brawler on this list, which makes me quite happy because mythic and brawlers are like the biggest categories, and I really want to go to bed. It's goddamn it 7 a.m. right now. now. So what the hell are we doing right here? But yeah, it's the last year of Brawl Stars anyway for me, so we can hustle a little bit for these videos. Who knows? Maybe you're still using that in 3 years when Brawl Stars is still in the game. I doubt that, but whatever. Who knows? No one can predict the future. So with Bo, what you want to make sure is you work with your movement. If we move up like this, then all of our three things are going to hit on the same spot, as you can see here, you know? So that is very important to know when you do this move. And when you just walk down, then you have a way more spreaded shot. Both are really useful. Sometimes when you want to make sure to poke someone, Frank is moving, then you always get that one shot. But if you know where your opponent is moving and you go for more damage, then you just walk like this. Okay, I mean, he sidestepped here. That was not so good. But yeah, you just do this. You're going to hit more shots. And also with the mines, you can put them on a high save with the other gadget. And if people are not moving into them, then you can still bait them or, you know, just trigger them to do damage on a save. It deals like more than 10%. Really useful. Or to open in Brawl Ball. These mines are really useful. I think the other gadget is better at all. I played the totem right now. That was my bad. But yeah, we get to the first super rare brawler, which is Gus. And I cannot give you too much advices for Gus because he's a control brawler. He's a brawler, you know, aim good. If your opponent's a shield, if you need to, use the gadget when it makes sense, when you can deal damage, when you can finish whatsoever. You can heal with your spirits. There's nothing, not like a hidden pro tip or something. The only thing that I can tell is that either your teammate or if you're just scoring yourself, Frank can just walk in front of my face. Yeah, stay there, and you shoot, use the super right away, make a score like that. You know, it's a basic knockback strategy to make a score. Any brawler have that, just like Sandy with the stun, or Jackie also. So you can also do, you know, like self pass, give him the knockback. Didn't work quite well right now, but that's like, I don't know. If you have something else, let me know in the comments, write it in there. But I didn't see any other mechanic that I could tell you here. So the same thing we have with Jackie. First of all, I'm showing you two things. First of all, we want to show you the super score. It's a little easier than with Gus. With Gus, you have a smaller range, but with Jackie, you can even do that on longer range. So we just shoot, grab him or pull him, whatever, getting an easy score. And then also the pro tip, make use of your hypercharge and the gadget at the same time. So look at my speed right now. This is the normal speed. This is the gadget speed with hypercharge. Look how goddamn fast I am. Like, what the hell is that? I think it's even the fastest brawler in the game. I'm not sure if Max is like faster. Could be same speed. Not quite sure right now. But now imagine Jackie with all that and an additional max boost. I don't even know if that's possible. Like if it gives you additional boost or if you just hit a max speed at this point. But since Shade also doesn't have max speed, really it should be possible. But we're not trying that right now. Try that yourself if you want. It's a little bit too late. With Carl, I feel bad when I just give a tip with like the gadget. So I can give like a pro tip, which means like, you know, you can shorten your distance with your pickaxe. You know, you can deal more DPS, which is what I like to do when opening chests, for example. You know, always shorten your attack animation just like this. I'm playing the wrong gadget, by the way, so this guy needs to kill me real quick. We want to play the fire gadget. With the hook gadget, also opportunities like in Showdown, for example. You can rush a mid. There was a really good map with a lot of chests in the middle. You just rushed it over the sea, collected all the cubes. You can also do that in Acid Legs, for example. But we focus on 3v3 here. You know, shorten your distance with your pickaxe. You can rush the mid in Showdown for chests. But this time we also have another gadget included here, which is the fire one. And you can not only zone a very large area like this, but you can also one-shot a lot of brawlers. So activate that gadget, give him one swipe, you already gets 2.8k damage, an additional, I don't know how much damage that is, but we literally just one-shotted a surge with this gadget. That's incredibly OP. That works for quite some brawlers, not against tank, but even against tanks, you're going to deal so much damage. It's basically a guaranteed free kill. Very broken. Should get a nerf in my opinion, but well, Carl's not in the meta right now. There's a lot of counters, so this might work for him, but as a gadget, it's too strong. And here we have another tip. On certain maps like this one, this is a really weird heist map, but you can rush dash this middle if you hit the perfect angle. Just like this, that was not the perfect angle. But if you hit that in the right way, I don't know how exactly this works. I think it's hard to pull off. Don't know right now. Yeah, so we get always sent back to the right. I don't know why that is. I try it this way maybe. Okay, you can do that. I don't know how to do it exactly right now. I'm really sorry about that. Also here you can see short distance again, dealing a lot of good DPS. Surge definitely cannot win that battle. But yeah, if you know how to make this shortcut, like to get perfectly to the other side, then let me also know, or let us know in the comments. With Penny, of course, when you hit targets that are in a row, just like these chests, for example, then you're dealing quite a lot of damage. The maximum damage, I think, is around 4,000 damage. You can see how easy it is to open all these chests. And the same thing basically works with the salt barrel. If we just hit Frank in a normal way, we are dealing around 2k damage. So this is basically the perfect spot. If we hit now, we deal 6,000 damage with a single hit, which is really insane. So Frank, come to me. Now we are placing it a little bit worse. You know, just stay here, just like this. This is worse. And as you can see, it actually deals less damage as if we would do a normal hit. So what you want to do, come a bit closer, Frank, is having a perfect salt barrel placement. That's not 6k, so it can be even better. Frank, replace yourself a little bit. And yeah, we're not... Yeah, we are not making it quite yet, but yeah, you need to practice your perfect barrel placement and make sure that as many projectiles of Penny's gold burst, whatever this is, that it hits your opponent so it gets the maximum damage. So for Daryl in heist, you can do 9,000 damage like a perfect gadget, which is called recoiling rotator. No, you start from like, I think it's top right. I don't remember correctly. I mean, you see it right now, but I'm only doing the audio. For this, 9,000 damage. If you spin a little bit around, you can easily deal more than 30% damage just by using 3 auto attacks and a perfect gadget. It's not that hard. Practice it once and Daryl can save you the games, bring you some extra percentages that will decide a lot of games at the end of the day. For Rico in Showdown, I can only suggest you the speed star power. Surviving is very important in Showdown. I know usually I'm a damage guy, but here speed just saves your life a lot of times. Then with the gadget, you know which one I'm talking about. It is the multi-ball launcher. Being on the heist, it's like more than 10,000 damage. Very nice damage. Or against assassins like Edgar. Kit, for example, very good counter. For 8-bit, I make it quick again. We just want to play the speedstar power turret and also the port gadget. A very nice gem grab brawler. It's like the only advice I can give right now. I don't think there's too much to say about 8-bit. You can surely also play the other gadget for heist. That's like best tip I can give you. The rest is just normal game sense. Collect the gems, then with the gems you can port. The distance is quite far, not through the whole map, definitely not, but the distance is quite far, so you can play greedy on gems, collecting them, then using your gadget in case that you're in trouble. You can do that 3 up to 4 times depending on your gears. So he's a very massive gem grab carry. Also the other star power, which gives you more damage, can lead to a very quick win in heist or even in 5v5 in wipeout or bounty when you play that Mandy or Nani combo to one-shot all of your opponents. So the next one is Tick. And yes, you can actually do plays with Tick. Many people don't believe that, but that is the case. For that, we need the 2-second star power. Like that's basically the same thing than with Morris, but not with movement, but with sustain, which is cool for such a brawler with very low HP. Maggie will ready up, but with a different brawler, so you can play Colette. And what we're doing now is, first of all, farming my super. But before we do that, Colette can just keep attacking me. Like just spam auto aim all the time without super, and you can see that Colette basically cannot kill me no matter how hard she tries. She can kill me, as you can see, but a brawler like Miko, for example, would not be able to kill me. That was kind of funny now. I did not expect that Colette is able to kill me. I thought that's not possible, but yeah, it seems like it is possible. But yeah, slow reloading brawlers have a tough time killing you, especially Colette. Let's say she wouldn't be level 11, but level 10, which is not default, but then you probably cannot even kill her. I remember when I played Power 1 Miko, tried to kill a Tick, it just didn't work. So the Tick always kept healing. There is nothing I could do. And now I want to show you another trick. We get our super first. We have it now. Colette will not use a super. That would be a little bit unfair right now. So what you want to do is not, this is the wrong way. Colette can just defend this. She will just kill the bomb now. No, 2 taps or 3 taps, you know, it wasn't a single problem. So what you want to do instead is throw it like this. Now Colette has to attack me. You can also go in with his shield, and now the bomb will definitely hit. So that's it. Advice for this. Can be very useful in bounty, for example, sometimes tanking a bit for your bombs so you can make sure to have a safe bomb hit. For Dynamite, always make sure to go for surprising stunts. What does that mean? I'll explain you in a second. Okay, so what you want to do is, this is wrong, like showing, oh, I have stun, because then the Frank prepares for the stun. What you want to do instead is being surprisesive. So just click gadget, auto aim very fast. You cannot react on that, and you just saw what you can also do. Problem is we have faster super cycle activated again, but yeah, if you hit a bomb and a normal attack, let's see, oh yeah, we actually get super if we just hit the bomb. So that's because of the modifier. So if you stun, you then want to hit a bomb and your normal shot. Basically, I did it wrong. I would go for the normal shot, just like this. So we go like this. And like then we have an instant super again, also without the modifier. And also, I don't know if you will ever need it, but it's very important to know that, you know, okay, I'm going to hit the super like this. Predict with your normal attack like this, you know. That is very important. So you can actually deal the damage that you need on your opponent. Cycle super. Dynamic is a very mighty brawler. That's the tip I can give. The last super rare brawler. My heart is filling with joy when I say this, because I'm so done with this video. I barely can speak anymore. I know you guys would say like, oh, take a break, but yeah, I started this. I want to bring it behind me. So for Jesse, we don't need to go in game. My cutter will show you a clip. Just have good turret placement. Also play defensive in heist, for example. Don't keep it while defending with your turret. You can also get already a new one. And in hot zone, good turret placement is really important, so it can build maximum pressure on your opponent. Sometimes place it behind a wall, sometimes throw it right into a tank, sometimes defend with it. So don't make it too easy for yourself. Don't keep it. There's no reason to. For Rosa, I already played that strategy. You can build bushes in Showdown to, you know, have a wider bush. You can see it here in the footage. I recommend this on maps that already have some bushes, and make sure that a Shelly is not joining your bushes. Like that, you can cover a bigger area and have even more map control. People won't run in there. They're most likely too scared. It's a pretty good strategy. Not a mechanical thing, but a strategy. So make sure to maybe try that on a map like Skull Creek, which can work. Okay, so for Poco, we have a very simple strategy. Of course, I could say like kill your teammates, but I'm not doing that. So Crow will now poison me. First thing that you can do is get rid of poisons. Also against Eve babies, we get no more damage, as you can see. So now Crow will slow me, you know, get this, slow me, just click this again, and all your team would lose the poison damage and also the slow. So that's it for Poco. It also works for other stuff like stuns, for example. If a Frank stuns you, you can with Poco just make sure that he's not stunned anymore. I think this brawler is absolutely crazy at some point. He's not meta right now, while I think the hypercharge is insane. The gadget can be insane. The healing can be insane. Yeah, Barry is kind of the better Poco in terms of healing, but in other situations, like with this gadget, for example, I think Poco might be pretty underrated right now. Also with the hypercharge shield. Barley is a great dynamite counter because he has more range. So basically in heist, for example, if someone picks dynamite, hope is not entirely lost. You can still go for that Barley pick, and just make sure that, you know, it's easier to hit with Barley, so you're better in close fight battles, and also when you have to keep him on range. Yeah, of course, Dynamite can still kill a Barley, but a good Barley against a good Dynamite should always win. For Primo, we just have the common jump and throw combo. With the throw, you can do scores in Brawl Ball. With the jump, you can also pass yourself. I don't need to show that. But yeah, against Shelly's, for example, you do the jump. She gets a little knockback. Do like jump, auto attack, throw, auto attack, and then you would have a jump again. So this is the maximum combo you could get. You deal like, I don't know how much damage. It's probably over 10,000, so it's more than enough damage. It's a crazy combo on Primo, and whenever you can, try to pull that off. For Brock, we're going to need to play a heist game. It's kind of the same as with Squeak, but I'm showing you real quick. That's not the only tip. Brock also got a buffed hypercharge. I don't know why they buff hypercharges like Brock, but then they don't even touch a hypercharge like Charlie or Jean, which is basically a handicap. I don't understand this. Where they only care about use certain hypercharges. Anyway, so this is how you would super, like just bring it on there. And we did like 6,000 damage. That's nothing, bro. And now when we aim it a little bit lower, you can see that we deal much more damage, like 10,000. With the other star power, I'm playing the wrong one, by the way, we would deal even more damage. I didn't pay attention on that. So, and with the hypercharge, you can see, doesn't matter how you aim, you could also aim like this. You would also always do the same damage. There was 8k damage. Let's farm the hypercharge again. So that was 8,000. And if we just aim like this, it's actually not the same damage. So I learned something. I thought it's like the same damage because it's like the same amount of rockets, like it's just rockets hitting. It seems like you do 3,000 van for a single tap. Also make sure to always aim your super in the correct way so you do maximum damage on the highest save. Okay, so for Bull, I didn't know that before, so this is actually also new to me. I just experienced that. So you can, let's say you're supering. What everyone would do is just this, you know, hypercharge and super. Everyone would do that and it's normal, you know, but that's actually not the thing you need to do. You can play it smarter. So for example, this Frank will just now hit normal auto attacks on us and you can time the hypercharge while you're supering. So your hypercharge is longer for longer time. You know, now we have another super. So that is really important to know and can help you pulling so much more damage with Bull. So definitely keep that in mind if you play him. When playing Cold, we just want to go for double shot, like try to close one direction with a normal attack and super right after, so this guy gets the whole super damage. Doesn't work always, it's not 100% rate, but that's like the best tip I can give for Cold, besides, you know, opening a map. But I guess you should know that with a gadget that can break obstacles, you can open a map, you know. That's already a tip I can give to you. So the double shot is the mechanic I would like to go here with. And yeah, 2 more brawlers to go. On Nita, we have a pretty cool thing. My color will show you the short again. If we have a bear active and you see like, oh damn, my bear, like Bruce is not on me, then you can click the gadget, place another bear, and as you can see here, the stun will pop off immediately. So like that, you don't have the delay time anymore. Like you know, you can be so surprising just clicking the gadget, placing a new bear, having the instant stun ready. Can be a crazy play, will be pulled off pretty rarely. Like don't expect this to happen every game or something, but sometimes it can save your life. The last brawler of this list, it is Shelly. And yeah, for Shelly we have a very nice super cycle with the slow star power in combination with the sniping gadget. Like that, you can just, you know, super your opponent brawler, click gadget, auto aim, and have super again. It's a great cycle. It's a great damage output, you know. It can be super useful. In Showdown you want to play most likely band-aids so you can survive longer. But yeah, for the cycle, this one is pretty wild. And there we go with a tip for every single brawler. So that's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It took a lot of time, so I would really appreciate it if you consider to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. But if you didn't, of course, leave a dislike and tell me what I can improve about in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Your SnakeThug. Peace.